Patriots wrapped up training camp for the 2020 season on Sunday. I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Evan Lazar, who is outside Gillette Stadium. Definitely a completely different experience for all of us this year for training camp, especially the players. But from what you've seen over the past 2 weeks, definitely some standout positions and then ones where you probably still have some holes. What position do you think they could still see an addition before the season begins?
Well, I think the two positions you look at, Sierra, one on each side of the ball, are tight end and linebacker, especially off the ball linebacker at that second level of the defense. And the main thing that we see out here the last 12 practices is that these young guys, the rookie class from this year, Devin Asiasi, Dalton Keene, Josh Uche, and Anthony Jennings, need to grow up awfully fast for this Patriots team to get where they want to be at those two spots in particular. And I want to stick with the defense side of the ball because I think that they'll get enough out of Asiasi, especially what they got out of the tight ends last year. Just a little bit out of Asiasi and Keene will go a long way. But at the linebacker level, no Dante Hightower, no Kyle Van Noy, no Jamie Collins. We've talked about it all offseason, and we saw over the last 12 practices a real legitimate missing piece there in the middle of this defense, an impact player, somebody that can bring the physical tone and set that tone physically against the run, be a guy that can scrape and go gap to gap and defend the run and plug up those holes, because they do have the block eaters in the defensive line. I think, guys like Bo Allen, obviously Lawrence Guy, Adam Butler, I think they can get enough guys blocked, eat enough blocks and occupy enough blocks. The question is really going to be who's going to make the tackles behind those guys, and they're leaning very, very heavily on those rookies and Jawan Bentley to do just that.
And I know that those are the positions where the Patriots could still use some work, but there was a lot of chatter as well about the wide receivers group as a whole underperforming this training camp. Do you agree with that statement? And do you think there's still work to be done in terms of moving pieces around at that position?
Well, I don't think the Patriots are going to be too active on the trade market with wide receivers because I think they want to see what they can get out of the year two leap from guys like N'Keal Harry and Gunnar Olszewski specifically. I think that they would like to give those guys some snaps and see with the full season, with no injuries, with a full training camp, even though it's this abbreviated version of it, still more time on the practice field for N'Keal Harry than he had last summer. Let's see what these guys can do out there, because going out and trading a second-round pick in a Mohamed Sanu type trade might have made sense in the Brady era, but I think now it really makes more sense to let the young guys play and see what they can get out of that group. The N'Keal Harry, Gunnar Olszewski, Damari Bird, Jeff Thomas potentially, Devin Ross potentially, those group of players I think have all had a nice camp at times and had made plays out here. So let's see what the second-year players and the first-year players can do before we go ahead and make trade for vets.
Well, for all of our Patriots training camp coverage, now that things have wrapped up, you can find it all on our website at clnsmedia.com and over on our YouTube channel at Patriots Press Pass.
Patriots Training Camp Central is brought to you by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code MAXWELL20 at manscaped.com. Take your grooming game to the next level.